Hey, welcome to Block Corner with Guido 1212. I got one more replay analysis for you again with Night Dog and his T3485. I was actually going to be done with replays for the day. I just wanted to look at this one once, kind of get an idea of it, and then I would do the replay analysis later. But it turned out to be such a wild and woolly one, I thought I'd do it right now while the thoughts were fresh in my head. Here we are on Steeps, the steps. Looks fairly even as far as tanks go. Quite a bit of arty. Tier 6 battle for the most part with some 5s and 4s thrown in for effect at the bottom. And it is an encounter mode game. So how does this go encounter mode on Steeps? Well, you usually get some guys over here fighting for the rocks, and you'll get some guys down here. One team or the other typically tries to jump on cap. Sometimes it's a bit of a sniping duel back and forth. It just depends on who sends the mostest the firstest. And how it usually plays out is the fast cappers lose, because they all pile on. The other team sends just enough to whittle them down. Then they win this side and come back and clean up the rest of them. Very inoften does the fast cap work. And you're going to kind of see that scenario play out right here. Usually it's the heavies that go over here. Sometimes a few mediums or TDs are hanging out here, maybe back here. This map plays a bit different than the standard version of it, but the main battles are still here and here. And here goes Night Dog. He's heading out. See what he's doing. Driving along. One thing I will say about the way he drives around, and I haven't noticed it until this replay, but it looks like he doesn't have a zoom out mod. I think that's about maximum for the vanilla client. I recommend a zoom out mod. The further you can zoom out, the better. It just gives you more SA on your surroundings. Realize it takes you longer to zoom back in if you're a scroll wheel guy like me. That's a small thing. Alright, so the battle is joined now. We've got a couple 3 tanks down here. They've showed up with at least one of their heavies. We've got our arty hanging out here in no man's land. That is a terrible idea. They don't have enough people in front of them, plus the middle's open. And the rest of our team is headed for the fast cap. And we see a Cromwell. And that Cromwell really makes interesting eye candy. I'm going to shoot at him. Yep, rock's in the way. Waiting for a shot. No, he's back and forth, spotting. We got a lot of guys shooting at him. Everybody's shooting at him. Whole team's shooting at him. Get that Cromwell. That's a good idea. He's up there, and that's why he's there. He's kind of keeping everybody busy. If we ignore him, he'll sit there with that DPM like he's doing and start pounding on people like that 4T34. So Night Dog's going to move up. If you look over to the west, they're still engaged over there. We're down a tank. Stug died. Now, there was a tank right there as he went by. See that Chi-Nu-Kai? He appears to be really fixated on the Cromwell. That Chi-Nu-Kai was definitely hittable on the side. It's one of the other reasons why I kind of zoom out, or like the zoom out mod. It gives you more SA, and now we're really fixated. And you can see now, if you look towards the cap, there's an M3, there's a Chi-Nu. And all those guys are engageable. If you look over there, all he's got to do is, there you go. Nice job. Missed the shot though. Maybe a little rushed. What about that M3? Oh yeah, there's a guy there. He just got around the corner. And see, we're hanging up. Now the Cromwell just died, and we're back up in this corner. What I would have rather seen is get down in here and start working these guys over. You've got several friends down here. They've dove down into the bowl. You can really start doing some good work down there. Now, general play style, I've seen a couple of his videos now, and in general, hanging back a little bit. Not gross, I'm not saying camping, but being a little bit more careful kind of player, it looks like. And I think maybe a little bit more aggression. Not crazy, maybe not my level of aggression, but a little more would be very helpful. Oh, see, now that Rudy just ran into him. And that's something you've got to learn while you're working corners. When you came down, you gave an angle to it, and you poked out. Well, that Rudy's going to be going back and forth, so he bumped into you. Exposing yourself a little bit from the shot. Missed. and unlucky that T-67 shot you while moving backwards. Going for that kill shot. Oh, someone else got him. All right, that's good. So we're pushing now into these guys. Looks like we're in pretty good shape. We've actually lost over in the west. It's not hopeless yet, but we're not looking great. The good news is that you've got some near deads over here, and you're kind of tearing them up around the cap. There's the Stug, got him. The Skoda, dead. All right, great. So we've cleaned up the cap. Excellent. We know the ARL and the 85. Actually, we don't know the ARL, but that'll turn out to be so. Are over on the west. The Cromwell B and the rest of them not necessarily known where they were seen last. And now the team has a choice. It's got to figure out what they want to do. There's the Matilda chugging along, trying to get back. Our Artie's about to get crunched because they not only did they position poorly, they stayed there despite all information to the contrary. They should have been moving long ago. There's a Matilda M4 behind us. We got an O1 and a Rudy. So the enemy will be pushing through here, probably most of them. There may be some coming back around here, or we're camping the middle who will show up here. So the choices I mentioned are you can either try to cap out, or you can push out of the cap and try to take them on as they come towards the cap. If you're going to try to cap out, you really only need one tank on the cap. The rest of them need to go up top there and potentially up to those other ridges on top of this hill, the first hill, and start spotting for the enemy coming back and start picking them apart as they approach. Because if you wait down in this hole and let them get up to the edge of the hole, they're going to own you. Now to some extent it looks like he's going to try to do that. Now there is SA on the map right now, right? So we know that probably the M4, definitely the ARL and the Cromwell and the Matilda are all coming from that south side. So he's going to go cover the north side. Unfortunately, we have two guys sitting on cap. The other two seem to understand what they're supposed to do. They're over on the other side. But we go up top and don't continue going forward. Once I got up top and proved there was no one there, I probably would have gone to the next ridge. We absolutely must know which way they're coming from and start taking pieces off of them as they approach. If we stay on this back edge like this, you're going to allow them to get that high ground above you, and it's going to be very difficult to keep them from rolling over top. Now we're moving off to the north. Not a bad idea. Coming on up, taking a look. We've lost one already, but still they're not actually pushing into us. And now we've got three guys sitting on cap and only one guy screening. So we're not really getting the concept of screening here with this team. Sitting on the cap, just waiting to be shot. And the other part about sitting on the cap that's awful is it just takes one spot, and all three of those arties on the other team are just going to lob in there, and one of them's going to splash close enough to reset, or maybe even nail you and kill you. So now we're moving north. Now this is interesting also because he's got 207 hit points of damage right now, and this ends up being a Koblanov's with 7 kills and 2,000 something damage. It gets wild and woolly. All right, so there's their arty charging in. It's 39 seconds, so he thinks he needs to reset. This is an interesting choice. He takes that shot and then pushes forward here down into the hole. Whereas if he'd have just spun to the right and gone up the hill with his turret turned left, he'd have got the elevation he needed in height and probably been reloaded just in time to shoot that guy as he went over the edge. But as it is, he's reloaded now, and now he's trying to get up and over the edge. Depression's a problem, and he misses the shot. A little auto aim right here. Not a bad idea. And now, what I said was you wanted to be up top to light anybody coming into the cap, right? Well, he was, and that let the guys down and below know that was coming, and they were able to shoot it. But guess what else happened? They were seen, which lets the arty fire on them. 20 seconds, I think we're going to win. Oh, I guess we're not going to win. The arty just reset them. Now we're sort of out in no man's land. We now also know that the two heavies are coming from this way. The Matilda is probably still going backwards in time. He's so slow. The 85 is not seen for quite a long time. And where are those mediums? Well, there's one. Good decision. Shot on the side of the ARL. Excellent. M4 moving. Maybe we'll catch that ARL on the side. Nice effort. Didn't get it. All right, now moving forward. So their big tanks have just pushed down there, and they're going to wipe out that M4, who is alone and unafraid and unsupported. And what's going on with the guys in the cap? Oh, they're just letting tanks roll over on their M4 without going around the corner and shooting. Look, the jig is up at this time. All right? They know where you are. They're pushing into you. There's no sense just sitting there trying to cap it out. You got 15. Oh, ouch, that hurt. We're ammo racked. 8 seconds. Oh, is it going to happen? Oh, please let it. Oh, that didn't work once again. Look, I hate sitting on caps waiting for the last second. I mean, literally, if you're the only tank in the entire world, or you're completely losing, and if you move off the cap, you have absolutely zero chance. But in this case, if they'd have just come around, boiling around that corner, those tanks could have shotgunned whatever was pushing on the M4. You may have still lost the M4, but you probably would have killed a couple of their tanks. As it is now, you're just sitting around getting shot. So he'll come in here, so what he's looking at. Oh, here comes that KV-85. We're only at 600 damage, almost 700 now. Okay, there he is. Nope, that's a good choice. Don't go up and over and let him shoot you. Uh-oh, check your left and your right. Panzer 4D's coming in. Rudy has come around. Oh, there we go. There's one of them. There's the Matilda. And he has a little machine gun. Just shoots and shoots and shoots. Doesn't do a whole lot of damage, but it shoots and shoots. Oh, crud. We've been ammo racked again. All right. We're giving him side armor here. Try to give you what he was saying. He keeps coming out with a side armor profile. Put that front armor to that guy. This thing actually has pretty good armor, especially against the Matilda's pen. Just put that front armor in there. The guy's not particularly good or bright. KV-85. I don't know what happened with that KV-85. My assumption is that the gun was shot, because he is kind of just staring at Night Dog and not shooting. And we're ammo racks. We got a nice long reload. That's painful. Looks like he just missed. He's not very good. Oh darn, no pen. I think he expected the pen kill him and keep trucking. He's like, oh crud, he's still alive. Oh, the guy's talking about lag, so he's actually having issues with lag. So there you go. Lag helps us out. Excellent. Now here's something we know right now. One of those 3 tanks that are left is on the cap. Why? Because the cap timer's going, and the Panzer 4D was last seen near the cap, so more than likely it's the 4D. We've got 4 kills, 1,400 damage. And I don't know if you've been noticing, but the Artie's been shooting like crazy at him and missing. I don't know if I've ever seen Artie miss so much. So that was good. Slapped him. Reload, reload. Please, Artie, don't hit me. Please, Artie, don't hit me. Please, Artie, don't hit me. Smack. Look out. Coming in. You don't see it, but an Artie round hit behind him. Little tactical suggestion when you don't want the enemy to know where you're going. Obviously, because he was spotted, the enemy probably knows he was initially headed that direction. But they absolutely know he's headed that direction because he's crossing the cap and turning on the timer. So if you want the enemy to not know what you're doing around the cap, don't go on the cap and let them know that you're crossing the cap. Now they can kind of deduce that he's working this way. And if I was a smart Artie and had a shot, I may actually lead shot right off the edge of the cap thinking he might be pressing through. Especially if I was already in God mode, sort of watching the direction he was going. These are all just little pieces of SA that you didn't need to give him. Now he's going to go look for Artie. This is not a bad decision because if he sits on the cap, one of them is going to drive up, spot him. He may not even get a shot on the Artie. The other one's going to fire and probably kill him. So he's got 7 minutes. We can chase these things all around the map. He'll eventually find them probably. Pretty fast tank, the T-34-85. Let me show you what he's doing. So again, not zoomed out. He actually drives, and I meant to mention that. I won't back it up, but he's driving in this view. He's not very. He's not even as far zoomed back as he could be in the vanilla client. Always, when you're kind of working this type of tactic where you're moving across looking for other tanks, always zoom out as much as you can. It widens the field of view and lets you see more of the map in front of you and to the side of you. I mean, he gets super lucky here with some misses. All right, there's that guy. Slap. Oh, long reload is painful. It's actually going to get missed. Let's see if I can show this. My replay thing is Borked up. There we go. Show you as the shots come in. All right, there's that Hummel. He's pushing towards him. Okay, gets him dead. Backs up. Oh, geez. Oh, my gosh. Unreal. Guy missed. And off we go. We got to work on that M41. I'll tell you what I would have done right here. The M41 has a pretty fast reload, but I'd have worked myself right up to that rock, or potentially gone off to the left to work in the rocks on the left. He's going to choose right. And there's the M41's peeking around the corner. The top of its turret's probably showing here, so more than likely he is spotted coming around this corner. You can get a shot if you fade up to the top of this higher area right here. You can shoot across there, but of course, at the same time, so can the HMC. Going laterally, in this case from the right to the left, is the right choice. See what he's doing here. It makes it harder to aim, and my goodness, he just got missed again. The reload is long because he's ammo racked. I don't think I would have sat here waiting for the reload to happen, because probably not going to. Had he not been ammo racked, I think he'd have killed this guy here. In fact, he certainly would have. I'd have probably charged right towards that rock immediately. Dealing with Artie in this situation is always a bit dicey. You want to use the rock as cover to move up towards him. And at some point, you're going to have to decide whether you're going to fade to the right or to the left. One option is to go straight up to the rock and then side scrape out and try to catch the Artie on the edge, a piece of the Artie, and kill it so that he's having a hard time kind of seeing you. The problem with that is if you go to God mode in the Artie and then just put the cursor on the ground, he's probably got enough splash to at least track and maybe even kill this Night Dog even as he backs up right there and tries to do the side scrape. So that's a little bit of a dicey proposition. The other option is to just full speed at him and then cut right or left. When you do that, you don't want to get up so close to the rock that they proxy light you before you make a decision right or left. So if you drive right up to the rock and then cut hard right or left, you may get proxy lit within 50 meters, and they'll immediately see you while you're still behind the rock, and when you turn right or left, they'll know which way you're coming. So what you want to do is charge towards the rock, and then well before 50 meters, but not so far that the snapshot's not going to work. You want to cut right or left, get that lateral movement, and then surprise them to the side you're coming to. Most of them will be pointing at the rock, waiting to pivot right or left for whichever side you're going to. If they guess and they're pointing right at you, unlucky, but those are probably the two best ways to deal with this. We're going to get close. I think he's going to actually get proxy lit. No, he doesn't. So that guy backed up. And the reason he already backed up, I'm assuming he's not very good. Maybe he just randomly did. He's trying to get away. But when I'm in that situation as an Artie, or even as a regular tank, and I know a guy's going to come around a rock like that, you may want to back up enough that you don't get proxy lit so they don't know where you are. So it's a bit of a game both ways. But nice job there. He comes around the corner, sees him, and shoots. And we've got the end of the replay. There you have it at Koblanov's 2,291 7-kill game that looked like it was not going to be anything like that towards the end of the game, actually. So, yeah, that was wild and woolly. The result, you can't complain about it. I think there were some small tweaks and tactics and things you could have done better. But overall, it was a nice job. I'll catch you guys later.